Good morning, Dr. Archana.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, we will wait for the next, I think, 10 minutes. 11:50 sharp, we will start the session.
Okay, ma'am, no problem.
How are you?
Very fine. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for giving me this opportunity to share information with students.
Good morning, everyone. Respected Principal Ma'am, our esteemed speaker, Mrs. Dr. Archana Garate Ma'am, respected faculty members, and the dear members of Research Committee, and all my dear students, a very warm welcome to all of you for this session. On behalf of the Research Committee of St. Andrews College of Arts, Science, and Commerce, I am extending a heartfelt welcome to each one of you to attend today's session, which is based on reference management tools. We are truly delighted to have an expert with us today who will guide us through this important aspect of research process. It is now my pleasure to introduce our esteemed resource person for today's session, um, Dr. Archana Garate, an accomplished academician and an eminent library professional with over 2 decades of experience in the field of library and information science. Dr. Garate completed her bachelor's degree in history and secured first rank of the state level in the library certificate examination conducted by the government of Maharashtra. She went on to earn her master's degree in library and information science, qualified the NET with JRF, completed her MPhil with research on open access publications, and was awarded her PhD in library science in 2025. She has made significant academic contributions through one published book, 19 research articles, 12 national and international conferences, and 5 book chapters. She has also conducted several workshops on Zotero and Mendeley, helping researchers strengthen their reference management and research skills. Professionally, Dr. Garate has been serving as a college librarian since 2003 with experience in engineering and educational institutions, and has been associated with the prestigious Mitibai College since 2012. Today, we are honored to have her with us. Her expertise, dedication to research, and commitment to academic excellence are truly inspiring. So, we all welcome ma'am and extend a warm welcome to Dr. Archana Garate ma'am. I will hand over my presentation now to ma'am to carry forward. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for the lovely introduction. May I share my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
And in the presentation mode?
Yes. No, no, this is presentation. Yes, yes, ma'am.
So, shall I start now?
Yes,
Good
ma'am,
morning,
you can start.
students. Good morning, students. Today, we will discuss about the reference management tool, Zotero, and referencing style. You must have come across these questions that have you ever copied information from any website for your assignments till now? Or have you used someone else's ideas without mentioning the source of information? Or have you ever wondered why research papers have a long list of reference list? In today's session, we will answer all these questions. The learning objectives of today's sessions are to understand what references and citations are, know why citations are important, avoid plagiarism, differentiate between in-text citations and references, use the common citation styles such as APA, and prepare a proper reference list. We will start our session with a quote by Sir Isaac Newton. He said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." In a letter to Robert Hooke in 1675, Sir Isaac Newton made this famous statement. Meaning of this statement in the research context is, every researcher builds upon the work of previous researchers. Therefore, acknowledging their contributions is both an ethical and academic responsibility. So, citing And providing references is not a new thing that has been followed from centuries together. So friends, why are we here today? We are here to see that good research is not only about discovering new knowledge. It is also about giving credit to those who helped us. And research without proper citation is like using someone else's hard work without acknowledgement. So we should inculcate a habit of citing the references that we are using for our research. So now, what is citation? A citation is a brief acknowledgement within the text indicating the source of information, idea, quotation, figure, or data that we have considered for our research. Let us see the examples using the APA style. There are two ways to cite the sources. One is in the parenthetical citation style method and the second is narrative. So parenthetical means you are defining the idea and in the parenthesis in the bracket you are mentioning the surname of that researcher along with the year of publication. And in the narrative citation way, you are writing a complete sentence in the narrating form. So these are two examples of citations in text citations. It looks like this. So there are several methods or several styles using which we give the citations. The author date format or the numerical format. So in this screen, on the screen, you can see both the styles I have mentioned here. When we say about the citations, along with it comes the references. So now let us see what is a reference. A reference is a complete bibliographic information about the source cited in the text. The example is the author's descriptions are mentioned on the screen. Smith J. After that, the year of publication has been mentioned in the parenthesis. Then comes the document title of that document, the research methodology for beginners and the publication details. So you should always remember when we talk about citation, citation appears in the body of the paper, that is in the text, in the written text material. And when we talk about the reference, it appears at the end of the paper in the form of the list. It looks like this, which you can see on the screen now. And references are arranged in the APA style, they are arranged in the alphabet order. So, what is the basic difference in citation and reference? A citation it appears in the text and references appears at the end of the written material text. Citations, the information provided in the citation is very low, like only the surname of the author and the year of publication, whereas the reference list include the complete bibliographic details of that particular resource. Citation shows where an idea came from, the origin of the idea, whereas reference allows the other readers to reach to the original source, to know more about that original source. For example, in bracket, Patel, 2023, bracket complete can be an example of the citation. And for the same citation, in the list of reference, we need to mention the author's surname and the initial, then the year of publication of that particular document and the title of that publication. Here in this case, it is research methods and the publisher, that is Sage Publications. So now, why are citations important to us or to the researchers? The very first and very important reason is citation gives credit to the original authors. A credit should always be given to the originator of that idea. This is the good practice. It also increases the credibility of your research. The more and the good sources you cite, the more credible your research becomes. It helps readers verify the original source of information, whether the original author has said the same thing that you have cited in your research. That verification can be done when you provide the citation and references. It also enables readers to explore the topic further. At the end of these research papers, you will be able to see that there is a list of all the documents or research papers consulted for that particular research. So those research are very important for any researcher who is conducting a research on that topic. So if you want to know or collect more such researches, you should always follow or go through the list of references provided at the end of that research, which may lead you to the good resources that a person might have omitted or you might have omitted in the recent one. The next is demonstrate academic honesty. Always you should follow the good and the healthy practices so that you are not caught into the malpractices. And the final is to avoid plagiarism. What is plagiarism? That is also very important to know when we talk about the research. So the plagiarism is presenting someone else's words or ideas, images or data as your own without proper acknowledgement to that originator. For example, what are the types of plagiarism? We will see here that copying text without citation is a form of plagiarism. Paraphrasing without citing the source, using figures or tables without giving credit from where we have taken it, or submitting another person's work as your own. These are the broad categories in which the plagiarism is conducted. So friends, you must remember that even if you rewrite information in your own words, but you forgot to mention the original source, that also comes under the plagiarism. Plagiarism, there are several tools which detect the plagiarism, that is similarity tools. Authenticate, Turnitin are the best tools which are used in the academic setup. So when we say that we should avoid plagiarism, then what should we do? How can we do that? Referencing and citation is a bold way to avoid plagiarism. Along with this, you have to provide the citations whenever you are using the other references or the information you are borrowing from other sources in your own words. But citations are very, very much important. So when we say that we have to refer and then cite, then what are the sources that we are referring for our research? There broadly we can categorize them into three segments, that is primary sources, secondary sources and tertiary sources. The primary sources of information for the research are very high authoritative and original research. It includes peer-reviewed journal articles, academic books, conference proceedings, and dissertations or theses. So these are the basically important sources that we consult for our research. Why we consult these four? Because you find good articles in peer-reviewed journals. They have been verified by the editorial team or the blind peer review editorial team. So they are authenticated source of information. The academic books provide you good and sound knowledge about that topic. Conference proceedings provide you very recent research. If any researcher has conducted a research on a particular topic, he presents his research in the conference and it comes in the form of conference proceedings. So latest research you get from the proceedings, and the dissertation and thesis, which are well-reputed academic research outputs. The secondary sources of information includes secondary sources as well as the gray sources. Gray means which are not published but are generated for some reasons. These are synthesis type of documents or the policy type of documents, which includes government publications, reports, and trade publications. The tertiary sources includes the textbooks, encyclopedia entries, reputable news medias, and academic sources. These are all sources we consult for our research. Now, what are the things that we should know when we consult these all sources? Basically, what we do, we take out the information or the related ideas or the sentences that we want to quote directly or paraphrase. These all things we take that goes under the content part. But apart from the content part, there are few things that you should note down. These are 4 W's, that is who, when, what, and where. That who is indicating the author of that particular document. Who has written that particular document or who is responsible for that document. Maybe a single person, multiple people, or the organizations. You must note it down. Who is the author? Who is the creator of that idea? Next comes when. When was it published? Is it recent or it is very old? That is also to be noted down. So that is why the date of the publication or the copyright year of the publication has to be noted down. Under what comes the title, name of the article or the book or the web page or the chapter comes under the what segment. And where segment includes the other details of that particular resource, like a digital object identifier or the website URL or the publisher's name or the page numbers or volume or issue if it is a journal article. So these all 4 W's are very important when we talk about the citation and references. So how the process is carried out? For that, we need to keep record of keywords used in the searching resources. Why it is very important? Because in your research methodology, you need to mention this, what keywords you used when you searched the literature, available literature on the databases, available databases like Jester, ProQuest, these are the databases, or Google Scholar, whatever you consult for or the college has been made available to you. When you are conducting a search, the keywords that you have used are very important to be mentioned under the methodology. It provides the information on the scope of your research, like how broader your terms are and have you searched the literature on the broader concepts, or you have looked only for the narrower term and only handful research you have consulted, and based on that you have generated your research question and hypothesis. For that segment, the keywords play very important role. So you must note down the keywords, and you should be noting down the bibliographical details in the form of 4 W's that we have talked just now. You need to maintain the personal library by tagging and coding these documents in your Gazette, in your laptop, desktop, or mobile, whatever you consult. And finally, you need to create the list of references manually or using the MS Word tool. So these are the 4 steps that we need to take in care while we are doing the reference management. Or if you don't want to follow these 4 steps, you can directly make use of reference management tools which are freely available online for citations and references. So now these citations, they fall under these 3 broad systems. APA, MLA, Chicago, they are based on these 3 systems. So there are basically 3 broad systems available, and the styles are based on these 3 systems. The first we can see on the screen is name, year, or Howard system. Here in the parenthesis, the surname of the author or the idea generator has been given, and after that the year of publication is mentioned. The citation order or the citation sequence system is the second system, which indicates the number. All the references, they are given the numbers as per the sequence that they have occurred in the text write-up. And the third is alphabet number system, wherein all the research, the sources are arranged alphabetically and they have been assigned the numbers. So this is the example of the citation by using the name, year, or Howard system. Our APA style is based on this name, year, or Howard system. In this, the citation in the text that consists the author name and the publication date within the parenthesis. I have already told you that there are two different ways to cite the source. One is parenthetical citation and the other is narrative citation. On the screen, you can see three examples. In the first example, which has been circled in the red color, it is for the single authored document, that is only one author has published this. In this case, after the citation, in the parenthetical citation case, in bracket, the author's surname along with the year of publication comes. And for the one author, when you write it in the narrative citation style, the year of publication comes in the parenthesis, in the sentence form. When there are two authors, after the first author's surname, ampersand sign has been allotted, and then the second author's surname followed by the year of publication is mentioned. And in the case of more than that authors, et al, etc. al has to be mentioned after the surname of the first author. And then after that, the year of publication is mentioned. So these are basically three examples for the in-text citations based on the name, year, or Howard system, how it looks like. And here is the another example which gives you information about the citation order or citation sequence system. Here, the citations are arranged in the sequential way throughout the text, and they are provided in the superscript. Like you can see on the screen that number 75 has been mentioned in superscript, and I have circled it to show it to you. And these at the end, when the references are put based on these numbers, so references are not as per the alphabetical sequence, they are as per the number sequence. And this system is more commonly used in the science and engineering. Alphabet number system, in this number system, what we do, we arrange all these references alphabetically, and then they have been assigned the numbers, which you can see on the screen that after the author's name, instead of giving the year of publication, there is a number, sequence number has been provided here. So based on these three systems, there are few citation styles. They are APA, American Psychological Association, MLA. APA is widely used in the social sciences. MLA is used for the languages. Then Chicago, the Council of Science Editors, which is basically used by the science faculties, Nature, and there are many more like IEEE and other things. They are basically used for the science. So now we will see how can we list the references. Up till now we have seen how to cite a document in text citation. Now we will see how can we list the references using APA style. So when we say that we have to provide a list of references, there are 4 W's that we should take care about. So in the first W, we have seen who, author. Here in the case, the author has been mentioned at the beginning of this reference, and then the year of publication in bracket, and then the title, where the title has been given in the italics font, and then the other description like publication, the publisher or publication details has been mentioned next to the title. So this is the example of a book in the print version. There are 2 examples I have shown here. First is for the single author and second is for 2 authors, that you can see it here. When we talk about a book chapter which is published in the edited book, what do we do for that? How do we mention it? In that case, there are 2 authors. The first author is the author of that particular chapter, book chapter. And the second responsible person is the editor of that book. So we have to mention both these who's, like who has done it, okay? So first should come the author of the chapter, and then the publication year, and then the title of the chapter. But it shouldn't be in italics. The title of the chapter should be in the simple case. And a word in which is very important, which indicates that this particular chapter has been published in the following reference or the resource. And after in, we mention the editors' names, and in bracket we mention that they are editors, eds dot, and then after that comes the title of that book in which the particular chapter has been published. Here the title has to be given in the italics, and then from which page to which page the pagination has to be mentioned for that particular chapter and not for the entire book. When we are providing this reference for a particular chapter, the pagination should be only for that particular chapter, and then the publication details has to be mentioned. So this was the example for the book chapter in the print version. Next comes the ebook. For mentioning the ebook in the reference, we need to mention the author first, then the publication year, as told you earlier. Then comes the title, again in italics, and instead of publisher's name, you can provide here the source of retrieval in the case of ebook. Then what about the journal article? How do we put it into the reference? For that, the same thing has to be followed, like the author should come first, the surname, comma, and the initial of the author has to be mentioned. After that, the publication year in bracket, and then the title of the particular research article has to come in the simple case. Okay, and after that, a full stop, and then comes the title of that particular journal in italic font. And after that comes the volume of the particular journal, issue number, and on which pages that article has been published, that also comes after that. So this is the sequence that has to be followed when we provide the reference for journal article in print version. Now what about the article in e-version with DOI? DOI is Digital Object Identifier, that is a key assigned to the all objects which are available on internet. So in that case, the only addition is that you are mentioning the DOI. That is the only addition to the journal article case in print version. Okay, in e-version you only mention the DOI at the end. And when there is no DOI available, the difference is rest all things will be same as we have done in the earlier case. Only the thing is, here you need to mention the source from where you obtained that particular resource. That is important. So now websites, how can we cite the professional or the personal sites? That author information comes and the publication date. Up till now we have seen that we have mentioned only the year of publication in bracket. But here in the case of the websites, the publication date of that particular information piece has to be mentioned, the full date, in this fashion. And then comes the title of that article. All the websites has their own caption other than the HTTP address. So that caption has to be mentioned, and then after that the source of retrieval has to be mentioned. And when there is no date, you cannot find any date mentioned on that particular website, then you need to make mention n.d. in the bracket. It refers to not dated. That is very essential. Along with that, you should make mention of the date on which you retrieve this information on the website. That is very essential, because the document which we see today on the internet may not be there tomorrow. So to clarify about it, that when I browsed it, the material was there, the date of retrieval is very important to mention in the references. When we want to cite the patent, what is the form that we do it? The same way that we provide the author's details, that surname, then comma, and then initial, then the year of publication, and then the patent title has to be given in the italic form, and then the patent number that is assigned by the Indian patent or the foreign patent industries, and then the source of retrieval from where you got this patent has to be mentioned here. Okay. So up till now we have seen several examples how we can put the references into the reference list, how we can cite a source and how we can put those cited sources into a list of references. So when the students discuss among themselves, this is the scenario that one feel that it is not so easy. The other feels, yes, we can gain mastery by practicing it. The other who don't want to take much pains will always think for the solution, the easy, quick solution for that. And yes, there are solutions available, which we will learn today. To simplify this work, we use the reference management tools. So these are the examples of few reference management tools, that is Mendeley, EndNote, Zotero. So we will learn about the Zotero in today's session in detail. So you should download Zotero from its website, which is mentioned on the screen, that is zotero.org. Based on your device, you can download it, download the version for Windows or for the MacBooks. It is very simple to download Zotero, and it is open source, that is, it is free of cost available to you. Zotero has two different segments. You can work it offline by installing it into your device, and you can also work online Zotero when you are using different gadgets like the PC sometimes, that desktop sometimes, or the laptop sometimes. You can switch over to the versions, like when you are using online source, you just need to log into that, and then you can make use of both the versions. For that, you need to create your account with Zotero. This is the initial one-time process, that you should assign a username, email ID, and then set your password for Zotero and complete the process. They will send you the link to activate your account on the email ID you provided. Clicking it, you should activate your account with Zotero, and then you can use Zotero. But before starting the Zotero, you should install a Chrome connector. It goes very well with the Chrome browser. So you should have a connector with that to simplify your work. I will tell you later on how it works in a click. So, but make sure that you install the connector on your Chrome browser. And this is the way that you can add it to the browser. Okay. When this is done, then we go to the Zotero library offline way. Okay. When we have downloaded Zotero into our device, this is the way when we open it for the first time, it looks like. So there is a center pane, left pane, and right pane. In the center pane, whatever documents we input into Zotero, the details in one-liner details will come here. In the left pane, we can organize our resources, the documents that we have inserted into Zotero library. And at the right pane, we see the descriptive information about that particular resource, which you can see a list in the center pane. Okay, so these are the menus available here. Under the file menu, you can see these several options available, that you can add new item. The resource is called here the item. Okay, so you can add the resources, you can add notes to that, you can have various folders for which you can you can make the collections, or you can import information, or you can export the PDFs, or you can import information from the clipboard or Mendeley. These all things you can do using this file menu. So under the import section, you can directly download information from Mendeley if you are already using it, or else you can get information in the BibTeX or RIS form. That BibTeX, whenever you go to the research papers, if you are consulting the databases, they provide you the facility to copy citation in BibTeX or the other formats. So those files can be directly taken into Zotero if you don't want to take pains to input the details. So that is also available here. That facility is also provided. And the preferences has to be set under the edit menu, which is the one-time activity, but it is very important because you are instructing Zotero how to work, what is the style of your working. Okay, so here you can see on the screen that file handling, there are several check boxes which have been checked for. Only rename linked file has not been checked because when we don't want to rename any file, when we don't want Zotero to rename any file that we have uploaded, we do not check this box. So it should be unchecked only. And then there are several other permissions that you have assigned to Zotero. Under the groups segment, you are permitting Zotero to create the child notes, child snapshots, annotations, links, and tags, which are very essentials. If you do not check these boxes here, then later on, while working on Zotero, you won't be able to create the keywords for the document. So they had to be checked. Okay, so under tools menu, there is an important function provided here, that is install browser connector. So basically, why are we using Zotero? To minimize our work. Okay, and the research write-up or the research output or your project report, you will be writing in MS Word. Okay, so there should be a connection between MS Word and Zotero. Then only your work will be simplified. For that reason, you should take care that you have installed the browser connector into your Word file. That connection has been built here using this option under the tools menu. And the help menu will provide you all sort of helps. Okay. So let us see what we can do with Zotero. So basically there are 3 different ways you can insert your documents into Zotero. The first is manually, the second is using the digital object identifier, and the third is using the plugin connector, that is just by one click. Okay, so we will see how we can do it here using the manual method. For that, you can see here a plus icon on the center pane. When you click on it, the other types of documents will open up. Here we are inserting the information for journal article. At the right pane, we need to type and feed in the details of that particular document. So literally we need to type it using the keyboard. Okay. And here I have filled in all the details for your information. I have filled in here the type of research resource, that was the journal article which we selected for, then the title of that particular resource, author, first author, second author, and then where it was published, the publication. Okay, the name of that particular journal, volume, issue, on which pages it was, and the date of publication, the language, the URL, and by default the date added will come here. And if I modify it later on, again the date of modification will appear on the screen. So I could type only this much information when it is me to type on my own. Okay. And on the right pane, you can see there is another tab provided here for notes. If you are creating notes, you can type it here. So then this is the only tool which is serving all your purposes, that you don't need to search for the other resources or the books or the other files where you have mentioned the important paragraphs or what you need to take away from this particular resource or the research article, that you don't need to write into any notebook or in any other Word file. You can make notes here and they are safe here with you under the notes option. After that is the tags option, using which you can assign the keywords for your research for that particular document. So then later on you can search these documents by using these keywords, like what we do in the case of libraries. When we try to search or locate books, we just search for the keywords and the list of all available books in the library appears on our screen. This way we can tag it here and later on we can search it using those tags. And under the related tab, you can create the relation in between the documents which are on the similar topic. So See, basically when you create account for Zotero, for each research, you are not going to create separate accounts. This will be for the years together. So for that, you need to create the folders with here in this on the screen. You can see on the left pane here there are several folders. So under these folders, you can categorize those resources which are relevant to that topic. But into that, what if there are few resources which I have categorized into multiple folders, but they are related to each other in any connection. In that case, the related option can give you the facility to correlate the documents which are in the different folders. Okay. And now let us see the second method of inserting documents using DOI, that is Digital Object Identifier. When you browse any research article like from Science Direct or elsewhere, you see there a number has been assigned to that particular document, which is called DOI, Digital Object Identifier. If you know that DOI, if you copy it from any source and put it here into the Zotero screen under the DOI caption, then the bibliographic details or the details about the 4Ws details can be fetched automatically by Zotero. See, in the previous case, when we had to type it, we could type only few sources of information, like few segments we had typed. But here you can see abstract is also available when we tried inserting document using the DOI. So it is simplifying our work. Okay, then third method is using the plugin connector. Whenever you are browsing or for the literature on the internet and you have come across any good research article, and if you wish this article along with its PDF, if it is permissible, if the PDF is permissible to be downloaded, in that case, if you directly want this to move this research or put this research into your Zotero account, you just need to click on the connector that we had already installed at the time of installing Zotero into our device. So on the Chrome, okay, when you click on that option, automatically details of this research article will go into your Zotero account, and if it has been attached with the acceptable or permissible PDF, along with the PDF file, it will go to your Zotero account. Okay. So this way it is taking the full text PDF also that you can see on the screen when we make use of the plugin. So now we have added the same document using 3 different methods into our Zotero account. So, but I don't need these 3. So I have to remove 2 documents. So what is the method to do that? For that, on the left pane, you can see here duplicate items, which has been circled now. So when you click that, on the right pane, you can see there are 3 versions of a particular document. Whichever you wish to keep, you need to click on that and the rest will get merged into it. Okay. And the second way to do it, that you have to right click the version that you don't want to keep here in the Zotero, and then you need to delete it. But it has to be done manually. Okay. And now how you can search in Zotero? Remember, we had assigned tags. So using those tags, you can search for the resources this way. So this is something about retracted articles. I don't know whether you know about retracted. I'll tell you quickly what is retracted articles. There are several articles which has been called back by the publishers or by the authors after they are published. When when the article doesn't follow the research ethics or the honesty, they have been called back. So such articles are not to be cited in the research. Zotero provides you information on such retracted articles. Otherwise, there is no method that we know about the retracted articles, because normally we don't go and try to find out the retracted articles on each and every publisher's website or the journal's website. So this is the best way to refrain from citing such sources. When you try to cite this source, the retracted source, Zotero intimates you that this has been retracted and please do not cite it for your research. So this is the beauty of Zotero, that it provides you the intimation of retracted articles. So now we are done with inserting documents into our Zotero account. And we also have written the, like here for ease of today's session, I have already written the write-up on my screen. In your case, you, as and when you are typing or synthesizing your research output, you are supposed to cite the source, okay? But here, for today's session, I have already put here the information on the Word, okay? In this, we need to put the citations, and at the end of this particular document, we need to put the list of references. How we can do that, I'll show you. For that, on the screen under the menu tab, you can see a Zotero tab at the end. If you have not connected this Zotero, use under the Tools tab to the MS Word, you will not be able to see the Zotero tab in your MS Word. Okay, so that connection has to be built. Okay, please don't write on the screen. And under that, when you click on this Zotero tab on the menu tab, you will be able to see the first option, which is Add Edit Citation. So keep a cursor at the sentence or at the place where you want to insert the citation, and then click on this Add Edit Citation option. Okay, it will provide you the screen which will ask you about the which citation style you want to follow for your research article. Okay, so mention the style and then click on OK. And a screen will appear wherein you can type the title, any word from the title of that source that you want to cite, or the author's name or the journal's name. Anything you can type here. The related documents will appear on the screen. You should choose the correct one and then insert the citation. Okay. So now I have included all 4 citations that I wanted to insert into my document. Okay. So now when I want to insert a list of references at the end of this text, what should I do? I should go for the second option, that is Add Edit Bibliography option. But the cursor should be at the place where you want to insert the bibliography, okay? The list of references. So, on a click, the references will be here in the citation style that you have chosen for. Here we selected for APA 7th edition, and all the references that we have already cited in our text has been appeared on our screen. They have been arranged alphabetically, and you can see here the author's surname and then publication, that all 4 W's you can see here on the screen, that who, when, what and where. Everything has been mentioned in the proper citation style. When you do it manually, if you commit a single mistake, it will not establish a relation between the citation and references, and the plagiarism tools will show that you have copied the document from this particular source and you have not mentioned the source. Though you have mentioned, but it will show you that it hasn't mentioned if you commit a single mistake while doing it manually. So the advice is always to follow such tools, ready tools, which give you the correct information, like the citations in the correct form. Okay. So now what if I want to change the citation style? My teacher has already told me to do it in APA. Now she is asking me to do it in the nature style. What should I do in that case? Do I have to repeat everything? Do I have to learn now again the nature style? In that case, you just need to go to the 4th option, that is document preferences. And here you need to switch to the other side this way. Now we will switch to the nature side. Okay. And then automatically our citation in-text citations are arranged in the numeric form, and our references have been arranged in the numeric form. They are not alphabetically, they are as per the numbers have been allocated to them. So it is very simple. So now when we use such sort of reference management tools, why should we do that? What are the benefits of using such online tools for reference management? The very first is it helps you to manage your bibliographical information. Noting down all those 4 W's, who, when, what and where, is not required when you are making use of such reference management tools. You can save time and energy. That time can be utilized for some other productive work. Your citations are kept organized and accessible. You do not need to assign the file names, or you don't need to write down the keywords because you have already applied the tags to the resources. And whenever you want, you can browse it anywhere. Okay. And that you can keep into the folders, and it is in well organized manner. Then you can download citations from its databases, and additional manual intervention is also permitted. If you wish to change few things, you can do that. Citations can be organized and managed using the folders, which I have already told you that you are creating account today and you are using it for years together. For that, separate folders can be created for separate research projects. Citations can be shared with others as it is the online tool. Collaborative research can be conducted, or the collaboratively this tool can be used, and you can share the resources that you have searched or the PDFs that you have uploaded into your Zotero account with your friend. So then the friend doesn't need to do the same process again and waste the time. So the collaboration can be done. A bibliography, footnote, endnote, or in-text citations can be generated automatically on a click. This is very simple that we have seen just now. A drag and drop for PDF is permitted in Zotero. You can directly insert the PDFs, whatever PDFs if you have collected before using Zotero. If you have a good collection of PDFs for your research, you can upload them into your Zotero account, and you can browse them anyway, anytime when you want it. Being the online, this is the online tool. So there is no difficulty in using multiple gadgets. So if today you are using it on your computer lab, institute's computer lab, and tomorrow at home you want to use it using your own laptop, this is also permitted. Data will not be lost anywhere. And then it extracts all the bibliographic information, that is 4 Ws, on its own on a click. You don't need to note it down or take much pain for that. This is so simple using this online Zotero tool. Okay. If there is any question, you can raise the questions if you wish. I'm done with my part. Ma'am, please unmute.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. I would request class teachers to let us know if the students are having any questions. Okay, ma'am. Some students have given me questions I would like to read out. So the first question is, which reference management tool is free to use?
Mendeley, Zotero, these all are free. Zotero is free. Mendeley is also free.
Okay. The second question is, can reference management tools automatically generate citations?
Yes, for that purpose only we are using it. No? Yes, they do. And we have seen for this presentation, we have seen.
And is it
May I show it
possible?
once again? How do we do that? In a minute?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay, okay. See here. Yeah. When we want to insert a citation into the document, in that case, we need to go to the Zotero. Under the menu bar, we need to go to the Zotero option, and then here. The first option available here is add edit citation. Click on that. But before clicking that, your cursor should be at the place here where you wanted to cite the reference. And then select the appropriate citation style, APA, MLA, Chicago, whatever your teachers are telling you. And after that, a screen On the screen, a search window will appear, Zotero search window will appear. Into that, you need to mention the author's name if you remember, or the title of that particular document, whatever information you remember, that you need to type it here. A list of all those other resources which are having the similar words will appear on your screen. The appropriate document you need to click on and press the enter option, enter button. The citation will be inserted this way. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And ma'am, any AI tool which you would like to recommend students for reference management?
AI nowadays hallucinate the resources, online resources. Like hallucination means it provide you the information or the list of references in such a way that you feel yes, this is the correct source of information. It exists, it is available. But if you try to go through that resource, you may not find it. So this is called hallucination. So we should not, as and when it is a matter of research, academic research, you should not fully rely on the AI tools. You can make use of for paraphrasing or for literature search. You can make Elicit or some other tools you can use, but fully for citation and references, it is always advisable that you should go through several databases and search resources on your own, the good databases.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would request our student, Mrs. Anushri Pandey, to give a thank you note. Anushri.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, on behalf of St. Andrews College, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Archana Grate, for conducting such an informative session on reference management tools as part of 7-day informative literacy program. Archana ma'am, thank you for introducing us to various reference management tools and explaining how they can simplify the process of organizing and reference. Your practical insights will certainly help us in our academic writing and research journey. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to our managements for this constant support and our principal ma'am for encouraging initiative that promotes academic excellence and research skills. A special thank you to organizing team for their efforts in making today's session a successful, and to all the faculty members and students for their enthusiastic participation. Once again, thank you, Archana ma'am, for your valuable time and gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice day.
Thank you, Anushri.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I thank you all for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge with the students of St. Andrews College. Thank you.